Good morning, everyone. Hi, it's Jeff Fitzpatrick. It's Monday, 15th of July, 2024, and time for my weekly blog. Let's get going. So eyes down and look in. And this week, I'm going to show some examples, particularly from the Sapphire Club. And I'm going to talk some more about short-term trades. But first, I've made a couple of changes to my weekly routine for filtering stocks. The long list, I'm now using slightly different parameters to get to it. So I was using the timeliness and safety scores of 1, 2, or 3 for inclusion, 4 and 5 excluded. Now, as far as timeliness is concerned, I'm using only scores of 1 and 2. Sticking with 1, 2, and 3 on safety, but 1 and 2 on timeliness. And I'm still also using a minimum financial standing of B plus within that parameter section 2. That's actually bringing me down to about 70 stocks, which is good. I'm getting enough new stocks from that. I don't need the 150 that we previously had. And then I'm using the normal analysis, and that's looking at the charts as well as calculating all of the quality scores to get to a final number. And here is the output for this week. And you can see I've added a new little section in there, potential issues. Some of these haven't got any potential issues. All of the quality parameters that I filter for, they met, so they're fine. Others, you can decide. For example, liability slightly higher than assets, and also debt of 64% of capitalization. Our formal requirement is no more than 50% as debt, a percentage of capitalization. So you take your money, pays your choice on that one, or even the other way around. Something else you'll notice here is that some of the value line forecast increases are not huge. I mean, we got some 12% in here. However, I would remind you first of all that though the value line forecasts are not accurate, they're not brilliant, but also these are the mid price forecasts. So the higher go considerably higher than this. And now, depending on what you're looking for, some of these you may decide to pull just the ones with the bigger increases. There's a 40% there for CVS and also Nike a third. So you pay as your money, you take your choice. But these are the stocks that I'll be working with as potential new issues, new stocks this week. I've now introduced a new traffic light system. So now let me just share a couple of screens with you to explain what they are and where they've come from. Okay, so this is now my data collection point. And if I just roll up there, you can see we've got stocks going across, including a couple of this week's stocks that have gone through the filters. And I've got an awful lot of them. I go right across, lots and lots of them. And great thanks to the team that helped me put this together. We've got a huge number of parameters on the left-hand side that we're going through. And then the areas that are colored sort of buff, that's where information is input. The ones that are not highlighted, that's where it's a calculation that's done. And then some of them get highlighted for various issues, such as assets versus liabilities, the level of debt, and so on. A score that I've put in is this management, 1 to 5. 1 is good, 2 is not so good, 5 is bad. So that's taking into account the performance of the company and the management team, whether they own any of the stock in it, have skin in the game, and so on. And that's actually proving to be very useful. So from that, I'm then determining whether a stock is one that we would like to get into, we're happy with it, such as the 3 highlighted in green here, or whether it's a stock that we really don't like, we want to get out of, it's got all sorts of issues. Let's see if I can just find one of those for you. Yeah, so ATUS, it's all over the place. Management score of 4, safety is 5. It hasn't even got a ranking for timeliness. That's not a stock that we want to be in. And then there are other stocks that are ranked as amber. These are stocks that I wouldn't particularly rush into, but neither do I feel that we need to rush out of. In those cases, they probably just fail on one of the parameters. AEIS could be such a stock there. It's got a 4 for timeliness. So if I was already in it, I would probably stay there. So that's where the scoring system or the rating system is coming from. And now let me show you how that turns up and is used in practice within the clubs. And this is Sapphire. So you can see we've now got some red, green, and amber stocks in here. And the reds, such as Ramp, again, we might want to get out, not necessarily immediately, not just sell them and run, but we don't want to commit to any more stock. And we also want to think about how we can get out in profit. In that particular case, we've already we've got a July put there, which is diluting it, which is creating, reducing the loss on it. There's a bit more work to do, but the intent is to come out. So that's what we call the RAG rating, red, amber, green. So now I'm going to turn my attention to the short-term trades that I'm using to help rebuild and get into a better position, the Sapphire Club. So let's have a look at what I'm talking about here. I'm going to use the example on this one of Intel. So here is Intel. I'll just increase the size of that a little so you can see it. Here is Intel. So I've sold within the last week or so a July 26th weekly put. A lot of them, 2,000, so 20 contracts. And for that, got 73 cents. So what I'm trying to do is to clear the $4.16 that we're in a negative position on the stock that we hold on this particular stock. And we've only got 1,200 shares, but 20 contracts here. So that's quite a big decision. It takes the total value, if they were all put to us, to 105,000, which in this particular account is way above the 5%. 5% would be 42, so it's more than twice as much by a good margin. However, the strike price involved was $32, and the current price is $34.49, and we've got not many days, a week or two, perhaps 2 weeks to go. So the chances of that stock being put to us is very low. If it is put to us, we'll be at a price, hopefully, which is pretty close to the current price. And we've got plenty of scope to actually sell them again and sell a new put and get out of trouble. Let me also show you here in the analysis, on the exposure section at least, that Intel, we started with $51.70 of exposure, and having sold a $60 put, that is, and using dilution and also this technique, we've now brought that down. You can see the exposures falling steadily. Went up at one point there, but back down again. And this particular latest put, the 29th of July one, brought it down from 38.65 to 37.44. And it's the second one we've done. There was one last week, which is expired on the 5th. That brought it down again. And when the chart's on the right position, we'll take the opportunity to do this again and again and again. Now, because we're selling more contracts than the stock we own, although we only got 73 cents for it, the effect on the shares that we actually own was to improve them by $1.07. So at that rate, it should only take 3, 4, 5 of these types of trade to get that stock into the black. At that point, if it was red, we could choose to leave it or sell a call to get out of it. If it's amber, we might decide to stay in with it. If it was green, we might even decide to add to it at some point, but not in this sort of number. And if I go back to the first page, you can see highlighted here, I've got quite a lot of these soon to expire puts. The top one's already gone. That improved the position of AKAM. I've left that there, so I know it's easy for me now to sell another one and just put the figures into that line. BMY, I've got a weekly one. Current price expiring 26th of July. Current price is $40.46. So that's above the strike price. So not likely to be put to us at this stage. Again, cake, the strike price is below the actual price. Shouldn't probably be put to us. There's no guarantees. CMCSA, same again, 38.29 versus a strike of 37. Etsy, again, current price $60.50, strike price 56. On we go. Intel we've looked at. LUV, $27.53 versus 28 sold. So that one is more likely to get put to us, although we're less than 50 cents away from it. However, what do we get for it? We got 89 cents. So even if it was put to us at 28 at the moment, we could actually sell it immediately if we wanted to and walk off with a profit or replace it, which is a possibility. Nike, that one, again, same story. We've got $1.24 in income to play with though, so it's not so bad. And Para, already the actual price is above the strike price. Prego, same again. PayPal, same again. Ramp, same again. And TAP, which is Molson Beer, same again. And WGO, Winnebago, same again. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13 of those, 2 of which may need a bit of work to keep them on track, but most of which are perfectly sound. Now, my aim with this is to use spare stock buying power. So this particular account has currently got 68.75 of stock buying power. These things will quickly release, and because we're not talking about strike prices way above the current price, then they're not actually going to use a lot of stock buying power. So I still believe very, very strongly that most of our gain should come from normal price appreciation. Then some from this, then some from calls, then some from dividends. And that's what I'm looking at. So it's working really well up to now. Of course, not everyone is going to agree with this, I can tell you now, because going below the strike, the current price, or at the current price to find your strike price, or only very slightly above it, the scope to put lids in is just not there. So if you want the security of lids around you, this is not a trade that you would partake in. So that's what's happening, and I'm hoping that we'll quickly move Sapphire forward and the other clubs forward by doing this. And that's about it for this week. So again, if you're watching this and you're not part of one of our clubs, have a look at myinvestmentclub.co.uk. You can join us. People put in as little as £100 a month. Some put a huge amount more than that in. They all get the same percentage returns. And find out more. Happy to let you come to club meetings. We've got all the clubs are meeting this week. You can sit in and listen, or just contact me. We could do a one-to-one Zoom. But, you know, it is something to seriously consider. It can actually change your life. We've got live training. Just to remind everybody, we haven't actually sorted out the venue yet, so it's not the Sofitel, particularly at Terminal 5. The dates are correct, though. 15th, 16th, and 17th of November. Friday the 15th is just the evening, then all day Saturday and Sunday. It's not available for booking just yet, but it will be shortly. And finally, just to remind people, particularly those who are viewing for the first time, that I have a book out there which was best-selling on Amazon, The Extraordinary Investment Club, available as a Kindle book or an actual printed paperback or to listen to. And that goes through exactly how we trade and how the clubs work. And that's about it for this week. I'll see you next week.